What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope we can get through this video without my battery dying because it's already blinking at me and I didn't know that it wasn't charged. So we will see how this goes. I am actually at home right now, but I really wanted to make this video and I need my phone for this video because I have a bunch of stuff written down. So we're here. I cannot wait to move to have a better background. I know this is not in the middle, okay? It's just easier set up like this. I wish it was in the middle. So hopefully that doesn't bother you. But let's just move on. This video, as you can tell from the title, is going to be my opinions on pros and cons of dashing in a small town versus the pros and cons of dashing in a larger city like Austin compared to the town I live in, which is around 7,000 to 8,000 people, so it's a big difference. So I have them all written down in my notes, so I will be looking down for a lot of this video just to remember everything. So how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna go over all of the pros for the small town and the cons for the small town first, and then move on to the pros and cons of the larger city. So hopefully that is okay for you guys. I do want to say before I start that I have dashed in a big city, so it's not like I'm just throwing random things out there. This is my experience dashing in Austin compared to dashing here. I obviously dash here way more often. I will be moving in a month or so I'm very excited to be able to dash in a big town or a big city because I hate this little town. There's a lot of things I don't like, which I'll go over right now with you. I will go over the prawns. I will go over the pros first. The prawns are really good, actually. I used to love prawns. Okay, so let's just go over the pros first of a small town. The first one is usually places are not as far away. So less distance to drive means less gas you have to waste, and that I think is actually a very good pro, especially living in a small town, knowing where everything is. You can just get things done pretty fast as long as restaurants don't take forever. But I do think that's a pretty good thing about being in a small town compared to being in Austin or a big city. The next one is you don't have to worry about being taken to a different zone. So this might not be for everyone in a small town if you're next to other zones, but this is more on where I live. So where I live, you will see just like this little outline of our zone, and there is no zone near me for 35 minutes, and then those are all near each other. So there's no possible way for me to be taken to a different zone and then like be in that zone, if that makes sense, and then have them try to like take me to a different area that's busier. So that is really nice because that's happened to me when I would be in Austin, and I hated having to be taken downtown. It would annoy the hell out of me, and I wouldn't realize it because I wasn't super familiar with the area at that time. So yeah, that was just really annoying, and it's something I'm glad I don't have to deal with where I live. But on the other hand, if you are in a small town and you are next to other zones, maybe you'll be taken to other zones. So that might not be a real like small town versus big town thing, but I do think means if you're in a big area, there's a lot more zones around you compared to if you're in a small area and there's just not a lot of zones near you. So it's just unlikely to be taken to a different place. And then another pro is that I believe it's easier to get on the schedule. I just got honked at. I believe it's easier to get on the schedule. When I would go to Austin and even just try to schedule a couple days in advance, usually couldn't get on the schedule in the zones I wanted to be in. So that sucked. But here I usually can get on the schedule. I still try to schedule myself a full week ahead because lately we've had a lot more drivers and people getting on the schedule. So it is something I worry about, but it's not something I would worry about as much for like once I move, because then I'm definitely going to be like making sure I'm on the schedule all the time, so I don't have to worry about not making money, you know, not working. That would just be annoying, and having to wait for it to get busy to start dashing. Wouldn't want that to happen. So those are pretty much all of the pros that I could think of for being in a small town. Let me know if you're in a small town, if you have another pro. Personally, I just don't at the moment. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the cons of the small town. I have a few more of those than pros. First one, less orders and less restaurants. So what I mean by that is pretty straightforward. I get a lot less orders here than I would in a small town. The wait time in between orders is usually a lot longer. For example, it is 1:15 p.m. right now. I have not had an order since 12:20. Kind of unusual, but it is Monday, so it's pretty slow. But it's just really slow. I hear people talk about, oh my gosh, I get orders like every couple minutes. I don't have that luxury. It sucks. It only does that when it's super busy, which is not all that often. And there are just a lot of less restaurants to go to. Oh, look, I got an order. Woo! Let's see if it's a good one. What's your guys' guess? Pause order time. Oh, fuck this. See, Ugh. $6, not happening. So sorry. But less restaurants, so just less opportunity if you don't have a lot of restaurants. I think here there's like 20 something, except sometimes it changes and then some are taken off. It's really weird. I don't understand it. But as of right now, there's like 20 something restaurants in my town you can order from. Like I also just said, you have to wait longer in between orders when it's not busy. I don't know why I didn't wait to say that, but there you go. Now this one, let me know what your base pay usually is where you are, and also let me know if you're in a busy area or a small area, because my base pay here is almost always $3 unless it's a ridiculous amount of miles away. Even then, sometimes it doesn't matter. It's really weird. But what I've noticed when I go into Austin is that my base pay can just be totally different. I've had it be like 6 something, 7 something, all the way down to 3, but it just never seems to always be 3. So please let me know if that's how it is for you and why, because it doesn't seem to matter how far away things are. It's almost always $3. That is so frustrating. Very frustrating. Now this ties in with it not being busy, but you just can't make as much money because it's not busy. It's really hard, especially on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, to make $100. I can a lot of the times, but it's very hard. I leave my app on all day long, which is just really, you know, kind of annoying, but I have other stuff I do in between time, so it's not like I'm just sitting here waiting. Like I do YouTube, I go live, I clean up around the house, I have my dog I take care of and I take her on walks. Like I do things other than just wait by my phone waiting for a DoorDash. But it is a little frustrating that you see all these people make a bunch of money and post it on like Reddit and blah blah blah, and I could work every single available hour possible and I still could not I could break 1,000 probably if I work till like 11. I don't want to do that, okay? I'd rather wait till I move, make more than 1,000, because my goal when I move is to be like making $1,500 a week, which is gonna happen with DoorDash and Grubhub and whatever else I do. Just you wait. My apps, I'm gonna make $1,500, okay? Just you wait. I'm gonna have a video on it whenever it happens, all right? It just is a bummer because like you want to make more, but you just can't make the orders come to your phone if they're not there. It's frustrating. And restaurants usually close early where I live. I think the latest a place is open is 10:30 here. I could be wrong. I definitely know it's not past 11, but I do think it's like 10:30 even with the virus and stuff. I think it's 10:30. So that's not super late. A lot of places I see in Austin are open to like a lot later, like fast food, even if it is fast food, which is fine because I don't dash that late, but it is something to consider. If you like dashing late, then it's just not very profitable in a small town. In my opinion, I don't think it's very profitable, and not a lot of people are ordering that late. And usually if they are, let's be honest, they're usually not tipping very well. Not saying not everyone doesn't tip well if they order late, but a lot of them don't. I have tried dashing pretty late, and most of my offers were from McDonald's, and they were under $6. F that. Not doing that. And my last con of a small town is that I believe it is easier to become oversaturated quicker because it's a smaller town, and there's been a lot of people lately signing up for DoorDash here just because, you know, people need to make money and stuff. But it makes it even less profitable because there's so many people dashing, oh my gosh, taking the orders, and so it's just more saturated quicker because there's just already such a small amount of people here. So I really wish DoorDash would, you know, make it so not so many people could be dashing, because I know some people say, oh, I can't sign up for DoorDash because it's like overly whatever, like it's accepting more people, but there's still so many new people I see here all the time. It makes absolutely no sense. So I really don't understand it at all, but oh well. So let's move on to talking about a bigger city. I'm going to go over the pros first and then the cons. This one has more pros than it does cons, just FYI. So let's get started with the pros. It is busier usually, which means more orders, which means make more money. Those are both of my first pros. So when it's busier, the exact opposite of what I was just talking about, a small town, you can make more money. You have more opportunity to decline orders and know that there will be another one there that will hopefully be better than the one you declined. Just better opportunity, really, and yeah, just you're able to make more money if you try to. There are more restaurants and places that stay open later. So like I said, there's like 20 where I live. When I go to Austin, I don't even know how many there are, okay? I have no idea. In the zone I dash in, it's a pretty damn big zone, and there's just a lot of restaurants, you know, there's just a lot. So that is a huge pro in my opinion, as long as the restaurants aren't really far away, because I'm not taking something that's like 15 miles or even like 10 miles, fuck that, unless I got like amazing pay, but otherwise, no. So this one isn't for DoorDash, but there are more delivery apps available in bigger areas. So where I live, I've brought this up before, all we have is DoorDash. I do believe we have Favor, but I hear it sucks here, and so I don't really count that as one. And then we also have Instacart, which sucks here, I have never seen an order that was more than like $11, and it expects you to go 11 miles a certain direction sometimes, which is unbelievable. Sometimes it's farther. So I don't even turn that on anymore. There's no point. I've taken one before in my town, and it was because it was the only good one I've ever gotten. Definitely not worth it doing Instacart. But in a bigger area, you have Grubhub, Uber Eats, which we do not have either of those here, and I really do enjoy Grubhub when I go into Austin. I do have that app. Just signed up for Uber Eats. Have to take a picture of something. I haven't done it yet. And there's just more places. I've heard of other ones. I'm not a huge pro when it comes to the other ones, but I do want to try them. So let me know what delivery apps you guys use down below if you'd like to tell me, because it'd be cool to see which ones I should sign up for just to do videos. I'm not going to like oversaturate the market, except I will be doing Grubhub and DoorDash, possibly Uber Eats. But the other ones probably won't be sticking with, would just like to make a video about them and see how profitable it is. And so yeah, let me know what you guys use and enjoy. And the last pro, probably not the actual last pro, but the last pro I can think of, is that it takes longer for saturation. I am not saying it will not get oversaturated. I'm just saying that it probably takes a lot longer. It means there's way more people ordering, people go into different zones at times, and you know, it's just harder because there's thousands and thousands of people there compared to here where there's just like a handful of thousands. And so it's just harder, you know? So I don't know, that's what I personally think. And I do believe, like Grubhub, if you were to sign up in Austin, there's a wait list right now, which is really great, because I do think it's good to be on a wait list. I don't think they should just let everyone do it, because if everyone wanted to do it, it would just be bad, you know? Then there would be no orders for the people that have been around a long time working and like relying on this income. So I do think that's better because, you know, it's just less saturation. And let's move on to the cons. There's only 3 I have, but I do think they're important. So the first one, terrible traffic. Oh my gosh, that is the worst part about going to Austin for me. I hate being stuck in traffic, especially when you have someone's food and they're mad, and it's like people just don't understand. You understand there's traffic. I know you're not the one driving in it, but you know that there's traffic. So please be a little more understanding, okay? I hate that. I don't have to really worry about that here unless we're having construction, and still it's not anything compared to a big city traffic jam and just that type of stuff. Or like 5 o'clock traffic going home. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, absolutely awful. Another con is that I have noticed that the offers I get, especially for DoorDash, are way longer distances. So I declined a lot of DoorDash orders when I would go into Austin, and I did a lot more Grubhub because the offers were just unbelievably trash when I was there for for DoorDash, not Grubhub. But they would be like 20 miles, $8, 17 miles, $7. Like, what the fuck? That was weird to me. And that could all be base pay, okay? And then they're not tipping, and they might not tip in cash. And I'm not here for it. All of my orders have to be within $1 per mile, like at least $1 per mile there and back if I have to go back, you know? So definitely not worth it, but that's something I really did notice. I'm not saying there aren't good orders, but I'm just saying the day I happened to go, it was pretty awful for DoorDash. I did get a couple good ones, but nothing crazy, just a lot of bad ones. And my last con that I can think of, even though I'm sure there's way more, is that it means it's a busier area, a busier town, a lot more people living there. Usually I feel like that the waits sometimes can be longer. That's just what I think. I don't think everywhere it's like that, because sometimes in a small town waits can be really long, like I've said, just because we're overly populated with people at certain restaurants, because we have a very low amount of choices, if that makes sense. So sometimes it does get busy. So I do think that can be a con for both of them. Let's see what order I got. Fuck you. $7 order for 6.1 miles there and back. No thanks. Bye. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but it's usually busier, but also means there are more locations and stuff. Maybe it's just not as busy, but from my experience, places have taken quite a while, but not a ridiculous amount of time. But when they're really busy, sometimes it takes a long time. But like I said, I think that could be said for both of them, and it just depends on the day. So that's not really like a real con for a large city, but it is just something to think about, that it's just busier in general. So you just have more people going places, and it can make the wait time longer. So just keep that in mind. But overall, my opinion is that I think dashing in a larger city is way, way better than a small town. I've talked to other people that are in a small town, even people that live here talk about it. Like, she was in my live talking about it, and she was just saying how it's just not very good here. So, you know, there's just better opportunity. You have other areas you can go to if you'd like. You can multi-app, okay? That's a pro. You can multi-app if you have multiple apps available in that location. So that's just a huge pro, okay? In general, I think that is just the best, and not have to just rely on DoorDash. So that is just my opinions on what is better, and I just kind of went over with you the pros and cons of each. So hopefully kind of gave you some insight if you've never DoorDashed in a busy area or a small town, so you can kind of see what it will be like. The grass ain't always green on the other side, but I really hope it is once I move, because I want to make more money than like $800 to $900 a week. I'd like to make more than that, because that's usually what I'm making right now, and I see other people that easily hit 1,000 or more. Like I said, my goal is going to be 1,500, and it's going to happen because I'm going to work my ass off every freaking day. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have not already. It would mean so much to me, and it's free, so why not do it? Please subscribe down below if you've not already. I love making DoorDash related videos. I do make a couple other related videos that have to do with anti-MLM. I just don't make a lot of them because they, you know, annoy me a little bit, so I just don't make a lot of them. And I feel like a lot of you guys really enjoy DoorDash related videos. And then I also make a lot of kind of money related videos. I brought up a couple other ideas that I have that I will be making in the future, so just stay tuned for those if you care. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go. I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone.